Greg McNeilly has written an op-ed for the Detroit News. He's from West Michigan, political strategist, and he's on our AT&T line right now. I'm going to guess you're probably not ready to use visionary leadership, at least in all categories, for this governor.
That's an accurate assumption, Michael Patrick. You know, the leadership requires the ability to get things done, and we haven't seen this governor be able to do that yet. Too early to judge her on that, granted, but far too early to call her visionary. When it comes to that college proposal, that proposal over 20 years ago, the state of California tried this back in the early 90s. And so, again, I don't know how you call that visionary because it's a bit of a retread, but it's great to start the conversation and have, a robust debate on how do we fix roads and fix schools. We need to fix the damn schools.
What is this poker game now that she seems to be playing where she says, okay, 45 cents per gallon is what we're going to have to do, a gas tax increase. And then when we have the 75% of people don't want it and the Republicans in the legislature don't want it. And so she simply says, well, anybody got any better ideas?
Yeah, so the governor said that if the Republican legislature does not pass the largest tax hike in Michigan history on working families, that she's going to veto budgets and lead to a shutdown. The state budgets have to be completed by October 31st. Under the previous administration, they had been routinely done by the middle of June. I suspect the legislature will still sort of meet that new current trend and have them done by the middle of June or July 1st. And then it's up to the governor. She has said that if they do that without the tax hike, that she's going to veto them, force them to do it all over again, try to adopt the tax hike, or she shuts government down, which is a ridiculous position because, one, throwing a tantrum is not leadership. Throwing a tantrum is not problem solving. Throwing a tantrum just makes you the infant terrible. And that's not the type of brand that we need for our state. Michigan's not perfect. We still have a lot of struggles, but we have the most potential. In order to achieve that, we need to continue to protect our brand and keep moving forward to attract businesses and families to come to this state. So it's disturbing when you see the chief executive sort of lay down the gauntlet on something that she knows isn't going to happen. So why do it? It just, again, seems a little bit like throwing a fit.
Well, she didn't campaign saying, anybody have any ideas, elect me and I'll do it.
Well, yeah, and what was interesting about her campaign is she lacked the courage to propose the 45-cent gas tax, so she deceived the voters, didn't have the courage of her convictions, apparently. So it's hard to have an honest debate with somebody who's always moving the goalposts and changing things on you. But that being said, I have every confidence that the Republican legislature is going to fix the roads, and they're going to do it in a responsible way. They're not going to adopt some pie-in-the-sky big figure being pushed by the road industry and cartel who just wants more money to keep doing the same thing that we've been doing for 20 years, which have led to horrible roads.
This prospect of waiving a shutdown or saying, I'll veto any budget that comes my way, she sat through X number of years in the overlap legislature where the budgets were done with Governor Snyder by June. Why would she want to hearken back even a little bit to the shadow of budgets lasting into October and November under Governor Granholm? She doesn't like being compared to her.
Right. It makes no sense. Back during the Granholm days, you can at least appreciate the fact that Governor Granholm didn't threaten a shutdown 9 months before a deadline. It was sort of a last resort when negotiations broke down. This is an odd move. I think it was sort of a Hail Mary at some saber rattling to try to revive her dead plan. I mean, it's a proposal that's not going anywhere hardly merits the definition of a proposal. It's been rejected. It's not going anywhere. She doesn't even have somebody to introduce the legislation. Not a single Democrat will put their name on the bill and introduce it. So she can't get her own party to support it. She's not going to get Republicans in the legislature to back it. She's failed at this. She needs to learn from that and reapproach the problem, come up with another plan. I'm sure she's not a one-trick pony.
I wonder what happens when the Republicans release their ideas in June. Then she's going to have a hot potato sitting right in her lap, right?
Well, I think that a serious governor would look at the proposal and say, okay, what's the difference between ours? What's the delta? How do I analyze this. What's the art of the possible? She would engage with the policymakers and figure out what's doable, and see if that's a solution that works for Michigan. Don't care about the credit. Just get the job done and fix the roads.
That is where we wander into politics in terms of the ownership of the idea.
Well, that's certainly been a trademark of a lot of sort of shallow street level politics. Hopefully, this governor can rise above that. I think our legislature can, and that's what's in the best interest of our citizens. Michigan does want the roads fixed, and we're experiencing it. Right, we're seeing it every morning when we go to work. It's hard to imagine you could accelerate the number of orange barrels that are already out there. We'd be in gridlock for an entire couple of construction seasons. But anyways, people want the roads fixed. I know the legislature is going to come up with a solution, and it'll be up to the governor to see if she's got the courage to sign it, even if it's not hers.